Welcome back. In today's nonprofit marketing tip video, I'm going to share how you can create content for your nonprofit using the GaryVee content model. This is based on documenting what your nonprofit does via long form content and then repurposing it into several pieces of micro content. GaryVee demonstrated this by giving a 2-hour keynote speech and then breaking that down into 30 pieces of smaller micro content. So if you want to learn how your nonprofit can apply the GaryVee content model to create content and to integrate this into your nonprofit's content marketing strategy, keep watching. And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because next week we're going to share 5 specific ways that your nonprofit can use the GaryVee content model to create and repurpose content. But before we dive in, let's get on the same page about content marketing. At its core, content marketing is the creation and sharing of online materials such as videos, blogs, and social media posts that are designed to attract and retain an audience. This, for nonprofits, is your donors and supporters. The biggest misunderstanding about content marketing is that it's everything that you put online. The key difference is that content marketing is designed to attract and retain an audience. So you have to be very strategic about what this content is. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of what content marketing is and what content marketing isn't. Content marketing is quality over quantity, it is value driven, and it is consistent. When content marketing is done right, you are providing education, you are establishing credibility, and you are remaining top of mind among your audience. The purpose of content marketing is to create an initial interest in your nonprofit. So this is where you're attracting people who don't currently know about you or follow you. And you also are building loyalty among the people who already follow you. So this is where you're retaining your audience. And you're also getting opt-ins. Content marketing is not about asking for donations, and it is not about selling products. The goal of content marketing is to get social media followers and to get email signups so that you can continue to have conversations with the people who are interested in what your nonprofit does, so that you can provide them education, value through all of your content. And so content marketing is really all about establishing know, like, and trust among the target audience that you have, so that when you do ask for donations, when you do ask for volunteers, you are much likely to get a higher percentage of people who take action because you've established the know, like, and trust with them. So let's dive into the GaryVee content model and how you can apply this for your nonprofit. So the GaryVee content model starts with the content pyramid. I'm throwing up a screen here so you can see visually what GaryVee provided. And the idea is that you're starting with the longest form of content at the top, and then you're going to break that down into smaller pieces of content. So the first step in the GaryVee content model is to identify your content pillar. This essentially means your long form piece of content. We recommend that this piece of content is at least 30 minutes or more. And this can be a video, it can be an audio file, and it could even be your annual report if you don't have any videos or audios. Now, here's where I'm going to encourage you to get resourceful and to get creative. If you don't have long form content or you want new long form content, you can ask other people to help you. So for instance, you can reach out to your local cable station and see if they're interested in interviewing your nonprofit about a certain topic that's going on in your community that provides value to your audience and their audience. And if they are willing to do this, they're going to record it. They're going to give you the copy of the video that you can use and repurpose for your own social media and emails. And another idea is a podcast. So you can find podcasts that are relevant to your nonprofit, and same thing, ask them if you can go on to be interviewed to talk about a certain topic that's maybe top of mind for people or really relevant to the community. You can also give a keynote speech and record it, or you can give an online training and record it. The idea is just to get really creative and to get something that is about 30 minutes or longer. So once you have your long form piece of content, the second step is to create your first set of micro content. So micro content is just smaller pieces of content from the long form content. So think about 2 to 4 minute video or audio clips that you can turn into social media posts that have the hooks in them, that have the really exciting information, so that people will then want to go and listen to the longer form version. So when you're creating your micro content, think about the platforms that you're going to use. So if it's Instagram, you might only want to use a 1-minute video, or if you're going to put it on IGTV, it could be 2 to 4 minutes. So the idea here again is just to take smaller snippets, the micro content of the longer form pillar content, and to put that out into your social media channels to see what people respond to. And if you are using your annual report for your pillar content, you can think about making things like infographics and quotes. So get creative. Again, don't get stuck on the idea that it has to be video or audio. Just get creative and break things down into graphics if you want. So the third step is to distribute your pillar and your micro content. So depending on the length of your pillar content and your micro content, you're going to want to put these on different channels. So for instance, you can put your 45-minute video on Facebook, and then you can put your micro content on platforms like Instagram or Instagram TV. The idea is that you put out this initial pillar content and micro content to see what resonates with your audience. So you want to look for things like engagement, the comments that people are giving, and once you have a radar on what's working well and what people are responding to, then you can go and create even more micro content. So the fourth step is to get community insights from pillar content. So that's what we just talked about, where you are looking at the data, the engagement rates, the feedback, really looking at comments if people are commenting. So step 5 of the GaryVee content model is to take your community insights. So if people had a really good response to the 2-minute video you put on Instagram TV, or they had a lot of comments on your long form content about a specific section, this is where you take your community driven insights and create more micro content. So this could be creating new 2 to 4 minute pieces of video clips from your long form content, or it can be drilling it down to smaller pieces of content like a quote. And so if you found, this 2-minute video resonated really well with people and there was a quotable moment from it, you can screenshot something from the video and throw up the quote via text and provide this smaller piece of micro content. So the last step, the 6th step of the GaryVee content model, is to then distribute the micro content you've created from your community insights. And when you've done that, you've probably created at least 10 pieces of content. They could be short video clips, they could be quotes, they can be infographics. You're really just taking the things that resonate well, drilling it down into micro content. So that's how GaryVee does it. Now, I know that GaryVee is a content maniac and he is giving 2-hour keynote speeches and then turning that into 30 pieces of content. I'm not saying that you have to do that. We're just using this as a model. And it's a great model because if you can create one piece of content and then derive 10 more things from that, it's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to ultimately help you understand what your audience likes so that you can continue to provide value and education to them and create that know, like, and trust. Next week, I'm going to share 5 specific ways that your nonprofit can take the GaryVee content model and put it into practice. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button below and click the bell notification if you want to put what you just learned into practice. And if you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up. And in the comments, we would love to know what kind of long form content your nonprofit has. So please leave a comment so we can understand whether or not you have video, you have audio, or you have an annual report, or you have nothing. So let us know in the comments. And lastly, we are working on a donation-driven marketing course. We're really excited about this because it's going to give your nonprofit everything you need to know about how you take content marketing and then make donations or get donations from that. So we'll put a link in our description below if you would like to learn more about that when it launches. So thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.